All right, what's up, everybody? We are live. This is the first ever live that we have done. We got Tanner Weaver and Louis Fulford on here to talk about real estate, short-term, long-term. So let's welcome them to the stream. I'll get them real quick. What's up?
What's going on? Pleasure to be here.
All right.
Yes, sir. So Louis, you were just telling me about some dream you had last night.
Well, yeah, because we were talking about it for so long last night. Freaking woke up and my mind was just turning about the dream I had, which was literally me like trying to make deals. And then I even messed up in my dream to where I lost money. And then it just like, it was so weird because when I woke up, I was like, dude, I feel like I just learned something in my dream. It was really weird. And I just woke up and I'm like, dude, all right, I'm gonna go.
Sounds like you're obsessed with real estate.
And yeah, we were talking for like what, good 4 hours last night.
Yeah, buddy.
Something like that.
Yeah,
it just got stuck in my head.
So I'm kind of surprised with what we've been doing. I mean, you guys, I don't know when you guys started that chat, but I'm surprised that we're actually sticking to it, hopping on a real estate gains Facebook Messenger live chat every night for like 3-4 hours, just talking about real estate, goals, wealth. Louis, who's the one who thought of that?
Tanner. Pretty sure it was Tanner, right?
Yeah, I created the group. But
yeah. Yeah.
I figured we were doing it anyway, so might as well make it official and just make a fucking chat about it.
Oh, yeah. So, Tanner, tell me what you're doing right now.
Now?
Right now. What are you doing with work, life?
All right. Well, currently, as you can see, bouncing around from hotels, working, traveling, doing NDT, saving up as much money as I possibly can. And every free chance I have, I just research, train the brain, and thinking about the future.
So what do you do for the job?
We dig out pipes, like pipeline work, pipeline repair, dig up pipes, scan them like ultrasound and mag testing, and then we tell the welders, be like, hey, this area is bad, and they'll go in and they'll put sleeves over the pipe so they never leak, never get that oil in the ground, always safe.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And so what do you do with your free time and research? Like this week, what did you research?
There's a shitload of podcasts on Bigger Pockets. If you're about real estate, you have to get on Bigger Pockets.
What do they talk
about? It's just like a bunch of videos like this where they have like the main guy, Brandon Turner. He's like the host of the podcast. And then he'll just go in and interview people that are either just starting or else they're big into real estate, and they'll just go through their whole step process on what they had to do, things that they ran into, and why they don't regret it. And then I read. I hate reading, but I love reading real estate wise.
What are you reading?
Me and Louis are both reading Rich Dad Poor Dad right now. Book's freaking awesome.
Yeah, we just started that this week.
What are you learning inside that book?
Assets. What an asset is and what people think assets are, which are not actually assets.
And how the rich stay rich and the poor continue to stay poor. And he breaks it down pretty simple. Like once in his eyes, it's pretty simple because he breaks it down into just like pictures, and it totally makes sense compared to everyone like overlooks it because it seems so easy. And everyone just overlooks it.
What do you define as an asset?
It generates money into your pocket.
Yeah, it doesn't take money out of your pocket besides the initial investment.
So you're saying last night about assets and liabilities. What do you define as a liability?
Something that's pulling money out of your pocket.
Like if you buy a house and you're living in that house, it's not an asset. People think it's an asset, but if you really think it's an asset, just read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he'll change your mind.
Yeah, because before I read this, I was totally thinking the same thing. And then I was reading that, I'm like, yeah, that's probably a lot smarter way to look at it. And like he considers certain real estate as assets, but it has to be income generating real estate compared to if you're just going to buy a house for yourself.
So, Tanner, are you looking to save up, and then are you looking for like quick wins with real estate, or what are you looking long term? Let's get into tell us what your goal is for real estate.
All right, yeah. So there's multiple ways you can invest, but the route I'm going is I got a decently paying job right now, so I just save like 85% of the money I make and live as cheap as possible. And I'm just gonna get a big down payment, and I'll do my first initial investment is gonna be a fourplex using the FHA loan, so I can get that 3.5% down. And I'll do that. Probably get like a $400,000 property, maybe $500,000. If it's $500,000, that's like 17.5 put down. And then I'll probably have another like 10K just sitting there for like insurance reasons, like if something breaks. So that'll be my first property, and then after that, I'll try to do another property within the year and be like a duplex, and that'll be a strictly investment property, so I have to be 20 to 25% down. So that'll be a fatter chunk of money, even though it's a smaller property.
So going back, explain what the H loan is.
FHA, that's if anyone was to go out and buy a house right now, they'd qualify for an FHA loan because you're going to be living in the unit. And if you live in the unit, the banks are like, oh, hell yeah, I'll give you that money now. And you can just do it for cheaper because it's a property that we can pretty much take if you don't pay your shit kind of deal. But yeah, so it's FHA. I forget what it stands for. It stands for something, but pretty much that, like, you just can't be discriminated for buying a property is what that loan's kind of for. But so that's like the super easy loan that a lot of people can get. You just need like a 684 credit score. And then if you got less than that, I don't know, 584, my bad. I believe it's 584, I think.
So why do you you're thinking of fourplex? Why a fourplex?
Because cash flow, baby. The more units, the more cash flow.
So you were talking about house hacking. Define house hacking.
House hacking is where you pay little to no money for living in a house that you bought. And then on top of that, if you go on a higher unit side, you can cash flow from that same property. And then you house hack. So I house hack. I live in that property. You have to live in there for a year. And then after that year, now you can go in and rent out your unit and still utilize and leverage that 3.5% down loan. Versus if you're just buying a fourplex to rent out all 4 units right away, you couldn't do an FHA because you're not living in the one unit, and you have to do 20 to 25% down in most situations.
So when do you think you're going to be able to actually put this into, strategy? Put it into play?
In 4 months, that's my goal. The time I turn 23, I'm having that fucking property under my belt.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a pretty impressive short-term, goal to have.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So then,
gotta put a deadline on it.
So then, Louis, we heard what Tanner had to say. about, for the next 4 months, that's his goal. What do you do right now? You working in Texas, I know, but what do you do?
I'm trying to right now, because I have this apartment for until January 2022. I'm trying to find something to where I can make short-term cash off real estate until then, and then once January 22 comes up, I'm gonna do the same thing Tanner did, to where I'm gonna get myself either, probably hopefully a fourplex or something like that. But until then, I'm trying to do some more research on wholesaling and stuff and see if I can figure some stuff out about that. I'd like to get. I haven't really set a date on it, but I know I said it before. I think it was. I'd like to try to get my first deal by. Oh my gosh, what did I say? At least by the time I get. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Probably in like 6 months, I'd like to have at least my first deal to where I'm completely successful in it. That's a kind of a long time, but there's a lot more that I need to learn before I can actually go out there and put it into work.
So you said short-term wins. I think I heard you say short-term wins. Do you mean wholesaling then?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do some more research on, so I can try to get that, because I'm not going to be able to buy real estate until at least January 2022, because I'm in this place right now, and be able to do the FHA loan. And that's what I want to do, because it makes sense.
Going back a little bit, explain like exactly the job you do right now.
Right now, I'm doing same thing Tanner doing, NDT work, and right now this next week, I'm going to be doing some rope access jobs, to where I'm going to be hanging from ropes on a harness, and then I'm going to be doing inspections, which could be anything from magnetic particle to ultrasonic to PT potentially. But most of the time, they have us working in refineries. Sometimes we do pipeline, and so that's going to be about 20 minutes away from here, 30 minutes away. So I still got to figure out exactly what we're doing, but that's what I'm doing next week at least.
So why did you start doing that?
Because I thought it was going to make me a crap ton of money fast, which it's good money, but I'm working for my money compared to I could have found something by now that money's working for me, but I'm figuring that out now.
Why the rich are rich. They have their money work for them. They don't work for their money.
Right. So you two have been basically living together for a few years, but now you're not, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
And you both went to Ridgewater.
Yep.
And well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm about to talk about some college stuff, but before I do that, tell me what wholesaling is. You said wholesaling. Tell me explain exactly what that is.
So if I go look on the market and I find a property that's pretty beat up, it's not in great condition, I try to get a good deal on it, to where what I've seen so far is you take about 75% of what they're asking, and then you have your expenses and stuff, and then basically to make that into a decent house is what you're trying to sell, and the contract too. Because if I buy a crappy house, I get the contract, and now I'm selling the contract to somebody who can make money off that property, which are most of the times can be flippers. And so I'll try to sell that to the flippers for a still good price, yet I'm making like $5,000 to $15,000 off it. And then they flip it, they put the work into it, and they do all they pay for all the expenses and everything, and then they flip it and turn it into a big profit for them. And so it's kind of a win-win for both of us. And so you just gotta, there's a lot of steps into it that I'm learning.
Right. So these flippers, they want to connect with wholesalers?
Yeah, I'm thinking for sure, because they know that they're not, it's the same thing almost if they were just go directly to the seller, the person that actually owns the house, and sell it, compared to buying it from the wholesaler. It's the same thing, but it's just another. You're basically just putting yourself in the middle between them two, and you're trying to make money off them.
So that's the short-term real estate goal for you is wholesale.
Yeah, try that. Try to see how that goes, and then put that into.
In 2022 is kind of where you're thinking you start going towards what Tanner's doing.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. I'm gonna try to make money from wholesaling or anything else extra, and put that into the long-term goal. Is what the plan is.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot I still need to learn on wholesaling for sure, and there's a lot out there to learn, so it's exciting.
You were telling me, you were telling us to last night, you were gonna, instead of, a lot of people try to learn on their own and through programs online, you actually want to find someone down in Texas, right? And shadow them almost.
Big time. I'll work for free. I don't care. I'm trying to see how it's actually done in real life compared to me just watching or me just listening to somebody or seeing what they have to say. I want to see it done in person.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
So that's something true. That's why I think it's going to be. That's why I put such kind of a long deadline on it, because I know it's going to be a little bit until I find somebody like that for one, and then to learn everything they know. That's going to be a little bit of time, and then for me to actually put a deal together, it's going to be a little time. But if I just put the time in, it'll pay off.
Nice. So that's your short-term goal. That's Tanner's short-term goal. Now, did you guys kind of figure this out on your own, or did you figure it out together? Like, when did you start thinking, real estate is the way that real estate's what I want to do?
I'd probably say in like 2018, I think it was, that I ended up getting a book from Grant Cardone. It was How to Invest in Real Estate. And I did that, and I read that, and I'm like, oh, frick, dude. Like, I want to be rich bad. And then ever since then, it was slowly research, and then lately, now I got like this job where it's most of the time I'm just sitting in a hotel room. I just try to utilize that, and I've been fucking grinding.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably say the same because, we knew about it since the beginning of college. We always talked about it, but we didn't do the research that we do now.
Right. So you two live together, and so did you know in high school together that you wanted to go to the same college, do NDT, and now you're both in Texas? Obviously not in the same place, correct?
Yeah, not in the same place.
So that's kind of interesting that you both ended up in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only going to be here for a month and a half.
Yeah.
So when did you say, okay, let's go to Ridgewater, let's live together, and let's do NDT? In high school, like January, or when did that all fall into place and you started living together? How did you figure that part out?
I heard it from Louis.
Yeah, that was in high school.
Yeah. I heard it from Louis, and then we heard some rumors that like NDT people make fucking bank.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, dude. Fucking right.
And your brother does it, correct, Louis?
Yeah, both of them do.
So you probably heard it from them about it?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it. Originally I heard it from Jack because he went there. And then I went and hung out there with him the one time, and I was like, this is super interesting. Because I had no idea what it was. It just had like a bunch of stuff going everywhere. I was like, that looks interesting. Kind of want to try to figure it out.
Right.
And I told them about it, and they liked it, thankfully. But I had somebody to go with. And then, now we're here.
And so you then moved in together into college and lived with how many guys?
Right away, we had 4 of us.
How did
And
that
then
go? Were they all doing NDT or what? Or
Yeah.
was it all of you guys were doing NDT?
All 4 of us.
So did that help with kind of, all right, we gotta get this schoolwork done, then we can go have a few beers?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. Definitely helped where we can branch off each other a little bit, but it also knowing that there's 4 guys in the house, you tend to slack off a little bit here and there.
Yeah, a lot of video games, binge watch TV, drink beer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then wrestle.
I came over one time and I think we wrestled, or there's definitely some wrestling going on.
Yeah, I'm a massive room with the wrestling mat. We'd always fucking work on submissions and do dope shit like that.
Yeah, that was quite often.
Are there any good bars in Hutchinson?
Yeah. I mean,
nothing crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're
bars.
Yeah, they're bars. There's nothing like, oh my God, Dad, Mom, Michael, come on down. This bar's awesome.
Yeah, it's not like a Duluth bar. It's like, oh, let's fucking party. It's like, oh, you sit at the fucking bar and you're just like, oh, 2 for 1? Hell yeah.
You guys are gonna have to come up to Duluth and buy a girl a drink and just start talking real estate.
Yeah,
She'll fall in love right there. But so then, Tanner, after the duplex or the fourplex, where do you see yourself going from there?
Gonna just keep on repeating that same process. If I can get those 2 properties a year for 5 years, I'll have like, depending on how the unit size I get, but I'll probably have anywhere from like 30 to 40 units or so. And then once I get that for 5 years, I'll just keep on hanging on to them properties, let them appreciate. And about that 7th year, then I'll start 1031 them. So I got to take this property, and then instead of me selling it and then a bunch of taxes get taken off because you sold it, you 1031 it, don't take any tax out, put it into a bigger property. And now it's like you have just a massive down payment for a bigger property.
So what's 1031?
That's literally just saving yourself from. So say I wanted to buy a bigger property, and then I'm like, oh, the only way I can get this money is if I sell one of my properties. So if I sell my property, now the tax, however the tax shit works, they're gonna take a portion of your money, which is gonna be like, shit, dude, that's my money. And then now you're gonna take that money and then invest it into a bigger property. But minus doing that, 1031 is just like, all right, we're going to do this. We get 45 days to transfer this property, your net worth in this property or equity or whatever, into a bigger property. And then we just like pretty much slide the money over without having to take out taxes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You just keep on doing that until you're absolutely massive.
So when you are done with that and you are, let's say, 50 years old, what's your long-term goals looking like?
All right, 50 years old, I'd say I want to be making probably about 150 to 200,000 just passive income where I'm not working. I have my own team to do everything for me, and I'm just sitting on my ass, fishing off a boat, jumping out of a plane, making fat stacks.
What's your team look like?
You got like your realtor, property manager, attorney, and your PSA. And you just get that. You're gonna need a couple of them probably because I'm gonna be doing long distance investing because I travel a bunch.
So what's the biggest place that you want to have, or that you think you'll probably be investing in, like 20, 30, 50, 100
No,
units?
dude, that's a hard one to say, man. It could be 1,000 unit plex, but if I ever make that, you boys know I made her big.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I mean, I can see myself for surely getting like 100 unit property by the time I'm 50.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe
Nice.
a couple of them.
So that's an impressive long-term goal for a 22-year-old to be talking about. But I definitely know who this guy Tanner Weaver over here is. He's a hard worker, and that's right. Yeah, impressive. So Louis, you want to do wholesaling for your short term, a little bit of the same fourplex or house hack type of deal in the middle term goal. Tell us about where you see yourself going from there.
Basically the exact same thing what Tanner said. I'm just gonna keep working up till I have enough to where I'm making enough passive income to where I'm basically good. That's what I mean. Basically the exact same thing Tanner just said.
But
Yeah.
you want to be in Alaska fishing, or Canada?
Yeah.
Canada.
So yeah. My by 50, I better be up in Alaska fishing. And if I'm not, oh boy, that's not good, dude. I did something wrong bad.
Yeah, I can see you at 50 years old being, Dan Fulford out in Montana for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time,
Yeah.
taking conference calls at noon, and then saying, all right, boys, natty light time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the plan, man. Yeah,
And
just
so you see yourself just kind of growing those apartment buildings or houses to the point where it's more and more units.
yeah. Yeah, basically just gonna start with the first one. Once you get that first one in, and you get that FHA, and then you get your second one, you're taking that and you're putting everything back into what you're doing. You're not trying to go buy yourself a nice new car unless the assets that you have bought it for you.
Yeah.
To where you do have an extra that you've already put in, now you make it even more. That's when you can buy yourself a nice car. But I'm just gonna keep on putting it into it, buy more until at the end of it, they're all just making all the money, more money than I am right now. That's the goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Impressive long-term goals, boys.
Hell yeah.
So what else should we talk about?
Is it too early to drink a beer?
No, it's Saturday. It's like noon.
Yeah,
So,
Oh yeah, Tanner? You cracking one?
So what I something's coming up for me is like, I know that when you guys set goals, like there's no reason for them not to be achieved, because we look back at high school, like high school football, we grinded. You look at college, all three of us grinded. We look at right now, all three of us are grinding.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we look at the future, it's like, well, yeah, we're gonna do that. It's pretty simple. There's no other alternative. Now, Tanner, why do you want to do this? Do you want to have a family?
Oh yeah, I want a family.
Because I feel like it comes down to, the reason that people really want to be successful is so they can show their kids one day, this is how you work hard. This is how you
work smart.
This is how you become a man, and this is how you provide for a family. So tell us, like, where do you see yourself settling down? Texas, Minnesota? Where do you think you want to be in the world?
Oh, dude, I don't know if I'll ever buy a house. I'll probably own a bunch of. I'll probably end up owning a short-term rental property in every state that I like, and then I'll probably own a couple in Norway, and then I'll probably own one in Alaska, so then I can just live wherever the fuck I want, whenever I want.
Heck yeah, dude.
Nice.
Maybe buy like a plane or something.
Maybe we'll all just retire in Terry, Montana.
Oh yeah.
That'd be kind of nice.
That'd be sweet.
So, Louis, where do you think? So, do you see yourself with a family, a bunch of real estate, hunting, fishing, teaching a son of yours one day how to cast a line and catch a muskie?
Oh yeah, dude, you better believe it, man. Once I get financially stable, hopefully that part falls in, and bam, there's some bright ass kids, hopefully. And
a little Louis running around. Oh boy.
Yeah, I know, dude. Kind of freaks me out.
Maybe he'll be like George.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
A little badass.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Definitely. I don't know where I would settle down. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't explored enough to be confident where I want to be. There's so much I haven't seen. So I don't know.
Is there a... Well, you'll probably just... I feel like you'll be kind of like your dad. Like, you're literally some other state every other week.
Yeah,
trying to kill the next animal or catch the next fish.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, what I would really like to do, honestly, if I had to say, it'd either be out in Montana or it would be on the river back home. I would buy my parents' property, live there, and then just go everywhere from there. That'd be like the home base. Like,
right.
I love the river, man. I freaking love that property, dude. I just love it. Like, why would I not go back to it?
Sweet.
I'm telling you what, that property is never leaving this family. I will not let it. That place is gonna be mine, or somebody, or brother or sister. I don't care. Place means too much. Probably either there or out in Montana, or
For
it's
sure.
a home base, and I can go everywhere from there.
Yeah. Well, we should probably wrap this up. We're kind of through everything that we wanted to get through. We had real estate, small term goals for you two, real estate, long-term goals, where you see yourself in the future. So thank you, boys. It's been my pleasure to have you on. Hopefully we can do this another time, and hopefully, like we were talking before, what was it, either last night or sometime, we're going to look at this specific live stream and be like, wow, we didn't know anything back then.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. In like 30 years from now, we're going to be like looking back like, damn, our path completely changed, but we're twice as rich as we thought we were going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True that.
How do I exit this thing? Like we always say, peace, boys.
Peace.
Peace.